Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 6 viewer submitted levels, so in this part, I'll be covering a rather long Metroidvania level by Panta35 called Megatroid Magnet Man, with 8 plays and a score of 0. Judging by the stage length, this is going to take about an hour to complete. Probably lower if I know where to go. Panta35 first submitted this level to me over a month ago, I think, but it got pushed back due to the other Metroidvania levels in queue, plus all the other levels in the queue. I usually don't like to do these close to each other, mainly because how long each of them take. And how they push the other levels back in the queue. But other than that, I tend to enjoy them, though some more than others. So let's see how this one compares to the 2 other long Metroidvania stages I played. The last one being by Joe, and the one before being by Yahav. And of course, Magnet Man's going to be the boss. And slow loading time, and with the Magnet Man team. And for a change, we actually start out with the Quick Boomerang. No sliding though. I'll need to return to that ladder sometime though. And because it is a Metroidvania level, we're going to be unlocking a whole bunch of special weapons. Let's go to the left because usually there is some secrets to the left. This setup reminds me of something. Oh, and there's the charge kick. Actually, this construction reminds me of how you get the morph ball in Metroid. Though there wasn't a hole in the wall on the left that it could break. And if my suspicions hold true, there's some micro-stuttering though, as you may have noticed. Oh hey, I remember this room from Metroid as well. In this case you need the morph bombs in order to go downwards, but here you need something else. In this case you actually need a bomb, hyper bomb. I find this interesting because with the 2 big Metroidvania levels that I played before, you usually started out with nothing, but here you start with the Quick Boomerang. And the first upgrade we get is the charge kick. Well, to be fair, the Quick Boomerang does pierce through enemies, so it is useful in that regard. Ah, and I was right, just like Metroid 1 and Super Metroid, you need the ability to go into Morph Ball, or in this case Charge Kick, in order to go to the right. Ah, 4 windstorms. I'll have to return over here and I think I'll have to bounce off the walls there once I get back. So I'm definitely seeing some inspiration from the Metroid level design. Now, even though the Quick Boomerang auto-fires, it's much faster to just rapid-fire like this. Huh, another place with those hyper bombs. I guess this is either a shortcut or something else. I needed to do an air jump over there in order to reach the height needed in order to do the Quick Boomerang on the door. Okay, here we get the Atomic Fire, which we need on the left side of the room. So I definitely see the backtracking. And I guess this is a mini-boss battle or something, with all of these hotheads. Easier said than done, especially if there are a lot of them. Okay, wasn't too bad. Of course, having the Atomic Fire would make that fight a lot easier. So, time to backtrack. That was a close one there. So I get the distinct impression we're going to have quite a bit of backtracking throughout this level. Especially considering what we have to do now with the Atomic Fire, and later on the Windstorm, as well as that ladder at the top. In fact, if this is following Metroid tradition, that ladder is kind of like the ladder to Criteria, and we're currently in Brinstar or something. Although I don't recognize all the architecture, some of the rooms are unique. It's not like a wholesale recreation of Brinstar from either Metroid or Super Metroid. At the very least, due to the arcing pattern of the quick boomerangs, I can hit enemies who are just below me, or a little bit to the lower left of me. That's door number 1. And this reminds me of the segments where we need to climb up and down with all the spines and other enemies shooting at us. At the very least, all of these spines are destroyable with the quick boomerang, so that's nice. Just like in Metroid, in fact. Oh goody, the first save point, where we can get refills for all our special weapons. And just like Panda said in the title over there, make sure to reset at this checkpoint so you can restock on all of your weapons, as well as reset the other checkpoints in case you hit another one. After all, if you die and you didn't hit a new checkpoint, and you collected a key or a weapon capsule, you'll lose them once you revert to the earlier checkpoint. At the very least, each of these different environments does have their own unique aesthetics to distinguish themselves. That'll be super helpful for the backtracking that I'll inevitably need to do a lot in this level. Hopefully I won't get too lost, and hopefully there are some checkpoints. And there's the windstorm. I'll have to come back here once I get access to the hyper bomb. From the other side though. As well as the dive missile here. Yeah, the stuttering is getting rather annoying, unfortunately. But that's going to be common for all of these levels of these sizes. Unless we can get dynamic loading and unloading of assets. But that wouldn't be possible unless we're in, for example, the Magma 2 engine. Once that's officially released, of course. Released to the public, that is. Let's go down this series of ladders first. Oh wow, look at this series of tellies. Well, this will be a great grinding spot, especially considering that the quick boomerang can just pierce through all these things. As such. But of course, I'm not getting any life energy drops even though I need them. Now I'm getting it, thank you game. Also, I just realized something. Each of the doors or entrances, exits to each of the new rooms, they all are blocked by junk blocks, echoing how it's done in the Metroid series where you need to shoot open the doors. That's quite neat. And here's where we get access to the dive missile. Easy way of killing off all these enemies. Plus, I don't mind doing it here so much because I'll be able to restock it really easily in the previous room. I already know of a few places where I can use the dive missile. One above this terrain, and one nearby as well. Just want to get a little bit more atomic fire energy just to be safe. Good enough. And here's the first location. I will have to return back up there to see what's over there though. Okay, so this is just a weapon stockpile room. I will gladly take the items here, especially that E-tank. After all, I'm not sure where I'll need it. I will also have to return here once I get access to the Ice Slasher. Though I'm curious if this is actually a shortcut room. It may be, after all. Alright, back up we go. I probably should just be using the dive missile's homing properties to kill off these Kumusaburos first. Like such. Unfortunately, they track on to the tops first. Now, time to charge kick air jump back upwards. So let's see what's on this side of the room. Okay, it takes a while for the camera to reset its boundaries. And we have a Tama, which was easily destroyed with my quick boomerang, and we have this poor hot dog facing the wrong way. Although it's going to be more of a nuisance or more of a problem once I return back from this direction. And of course I actually needed a dive missile, so I was lucky to take that lower ladder route. I'll go to checkpoint. Just like the title stated, make sure to reset every new checkpoint to reset the earlier ones. After all, we don't want to lose progress. At the very least, the amount of fade-in time isn't as bad as it was back in Joe's level, which was Mega Man Long Venture. Now we're in the green environment. This kind of reminds me of the nature environment to the west of Brinstar and Super Metroid. I'm just gonna go through here. Okay, we need to get the ring boomerang. Another free E-tank. Being guarded by all these three petite snakies. So far, not that much backtracking has occurred. Well, not really major, but it'll soon happen, I can assure you. Well, I'll need something like the Star Crash in order to make that jump. Or item 123 or the Magnet Beam, whichever one. Oh goody, a spike segment. That's why I don't like spike segments in these levels, due to all the lag. At the very least, there's a checkpoint right over here, so not much progress was lost. Alright, I'm back over here. I actually died once off screen due to button inputs not registering. After all, the button registration issue of this engine gets much worse if the game or level lags a lot. It's that one starting point which causes some issues, especially when the camera readjusts itself, or readjusts its boundaries. Alright, I made it. Hopefully I won't need to backtrack through this segment, that would be super annoying. So I will get access to the Star Crash, that's neat. Oh, I definitely want that. Another place for Hyper Bomb. Oh, and here's Hyper Bomb. And a whole bunch of petite snakies. Easy button. And the RNG was kind in this part. I can already see at least 4 areas to use the Hyper Bomb at. So the map is really opening up. Although, just like all of these big Metroidvania levels, I really wish I had access to a dynamic map to show where I have already been at. Okay then. It just leads directly upwards. You know, a ladder would be good enough for this anyway. Unless, of course, there's another warp point that leads to here. That may be the case. Maybe in a warp room or something? Oh no, another one of these rooms. That was a really risky maneuver on my part. I probably should not have done that. I'm gonna play it safe here, especially with all the stuttering. Not just micro stuttering, major stuttering. And there's the star crash. Good to know. But there's a teleporter, so I need to find the linked teleporter room. And now we have two different pathways. Let's go to the right. Actually, no, let's go to the left. And phase right through all those junk blocks. Okay, going to the left was the correct option because of the save point room, which I'll gladly take. I would not have to keep resetting each of these checkpoints if Mega Man Maker allowed us to always activate a checkpoint if we went across it, or automatically reset the other checkpoints if we hit a new one. So far the stage has been relatively decent, though I really need to do some backtracking to see how connected the map is. Okay, and here's a teleporter room. I never realized how resistant the croakers are to explosives. And here's where we get access to the star crash. Good to know. Unfortunately, I cannot use that last checkpoint there. I need to get to another one first. I need to kill off those croakers first before I can actually make this jump. Otherwise, they may dissipate the star crash shield. I also like how for several of these rooms before we collect the weapon capsule, these rooms are made a lot easier once you gain the particular weapon. Like here, using the star crash would make this room a lot easier. Or at least for the Colton section. And this segment as well because of the increased jump height. And we have this lonely warp room. I'm not sure where this links up to, but I recognize this tile set. Are we to the right of something? Like before, reset at each checkpoint. I really am enjoying how each of these unique areas has their own aesthetic, so it makes it easier to figure out where everything connects to each other. I'm not sure where the Sparkman platform segment was. Okay, it was here. I remember this one. So the pathways are looping up with each other, and here's a backtrack point. But of course here, I need to time my jump with the star crash correctly so I can make it. Or of course I can always just use charge kick, that works too. There we go, that's what I meant to do. Was there something to the top of the right there? I'm a bit suspicious. Nope, here's the room where I got access to the atomic fire, so that's the wrong one. Still no access to the windstorm. I probably need to get 6 more special weapons before I can complete the level. Unless one of them is optional. One or more of them, that is. That was a really pitiful number of enemies destroyed there. Oh hey, I remember this segment. Let's take a look actually. Not how I intended to do that, but it works. Well, might as well bomb rush the enemies here. Let me backtrack over there to the left. I get the distinct impression there's a checkpoint there. Or at least I have a hunch. No, actually we get access to the windstorm. You know what? Remember that room with the windstorm? I want to take a look at it right now because I'm curious. I mean, it's so close by anyway, so it's only a minor detour after all. After all, it just seems so suspicious, and I get the feeling that there's another special weapon tucked away over there. Only problem is, of course, reaching it. Of course, I can always just use the windstorm as such and make it. First step is, of course, to kill off the spines. That's the most annoying part. Not to mention all the junk blocks and enemies respawn. Okay, now I can kill these off and make the jump. That was more difficult than it needed to be, though that was probably also my fault. So let's see here. Okay, there is something up there. I knew it. Oh, and there's the Ice Slasher. Good thing I checked. Also, this is one of the rooms where the Windstorm works wonderfully, especially because of its multi-hit abilities. And I'm out. I really need to hit a checkpoint soon, especially with my diminishing supplies of everything. There's probably one right after that series of rooms over there on the bottom side which I didn't go to yet. I'm gonna risk it and go for it right now. I also could just go to the left side with the Atomic Fire Room, but I want to play it a little bit more dangerous now. Also, in several of these rooms, you are expected to utilize special weapons, otherwise you will take some damage. There's no way around it. So we already went to the left with the Windstorm. There's also that room with the key which I can now access with the Windstorm or the Star Crash. And of course, with the Quick Boomerang, we can hit the Sniper Joes from behind. I'm really fearful of these gaps, or rather lag situations. Can I take some extra health, please? For some reason, the random number generator is not working exactly to my favor in this. It seems to be more biased towards energy here. Okay, something better. What I'm really worried about is if a power falls on the spikes and I jump into the spikes, the timer will still run even if the stage lags out, which means I'll die once I finish picking up the power-up. So I'll try avoiding picking up power-ups on spikes. At the very least, I'm having consistent progress and I'm not wandering on lost. Unlike what happened with Yahav's level, as well as Mega Man Metroid Long Venture. Okay, there are no spikes down here. I was half expecting there to be some sort of spike. And I already was there. Thank you. Please be a checkpoint behind this door. I got 2 special weapons already. Good. So let's restart over here and continue. Or reset over here, not restart. After all, I'm already 27 minutes into this level. And I haven't even reached the halfway point, I guess. Well, I actually have. I only have 4 more special weapons to get, but I have no idea where the exit is yet. So we're in the ice segment now. Thankfully we have stuff like the Ice Slasher. I'm not sure how helpful that's going to be here though. And now we have another weapon refill room. I call any of these rooms with the series of telespawners refill rooms because of how useful they are. Not to mention because my base weapon is the quick boomerang, which pierces. Yeah, I need a little bit more refilling. Okay, that should be good. And of course, there is an Ice Slasher block. Let's see what's behind this door. And it's a teleporter. Oh, okay then, so this is the fire segment. Oh, these are warp rooms. I see it because we can see the blocks of the next room type or area type. Like this leads to the ice area, this leads to the fire area. But I need access to the oil slide and it'll go to the left. So these are shortcuts. Here it indicates that's the fire area. Very neat way of indicating that, Panta. I just wonder if there's going to be a warp room near the end though, where we need to do a scavenger hunt for the final items. And of course we have the fan fiends, thankfully not on spikes. And here's a poorly placed hot dog, unfortunate. Well, it was a good thing I got the Ice Slasher because we already had 2 Ice Slasher blocks in this area alone. And it's a checkpoint. Doing really well so far, although I'm really dreading the point near the end of the level where I'll inevitably be missing a key or something. Let's hope that that section doesn't take too long. Oh, and of course, here's the final part of the stage. I need a key, well 2 keys in order to access this, as well as all the special weapons. I'm currently missing the ring boomerang and the oil slider, as well as the Gemini laser. So good to know. I'm wondering though if there is another way of accessing it from the left side so you don't need to use the key. So I now know where to go in order to end the level. So let's go to the right instead. Another refill room. Another poorly placed hot dog, although there you do have a time crunch. So there is something different about that one. Oh, and there's Gemini Laser. You know, this is one of the most pitiful mini-boss rooms, only having all these metals and metars. Now we have the backtracking point where we need to figure out where all these special weapons are supposed to be utilized. Well, I can already think of a few. Plus, I need to check how to access the fire area that I went through before. Alright, I made it back to the base level of this stage. So let's travel to the left and see where that first ladder that we saw takes us up to. After all, we saw it at the beginning of this level, and now I can reach it using the Star Crash. So let's see here, we get a free E-Tank, 2 large weapon capsules. Well, we need a key. I think I know where this is leading to. Yeah, I remember this room. If I go down over here, there is that key I can access now, so let's go for it. It's the one before the series of spikes where I died twice on, the one with all the crash lifts. And I think there is something to the left there as well, so I gotta check that out. When I get the chance, that is. And there is a weapon refill room here, so I'll gladly use it. Well, I can't utilize the Ice Slasher on that thing, unfortunately. So I wonder why that's there. Maybe I can hit it from below or something? That seems plausible. And that should be everything. I'm really thankful that all of the large life capsules and energy capsules restock themselves once you reset the level, or rather, restart at the last checkpoint. Oh, wait a minute, I went the wrong way. This isn't the room I was thinking of. So instead of taking those ladders, let's go to the left. After all, there is a good chance there is a Gemini laser block to the left, just to the left of this room, that is, following the dive missile. As always, reset at the checkpoint. I just wish it was a bit faster. Never mind, this is actually where I get access to the key. Also, apologies for all the jump cutting I'm doing. I'm just making sure that you don't have to see all of the rumbling around or wandering I have to do in order to figure out where to go next. Oh, hello there. This is actually where the fire area is. I guess this is where we're gonna get access to the final 3 weapons, or at least most of them. I need the ring boomerang, and I need the oil slider. I will get access to the needle cannon once I complete this level, near the end once I get access to 2 keys. But I haven't found the Gemini block just yet, it's probably above, an area which I overlooked. Plus I still have to return to that ladder to see what's behind that key door. Let's take the upper route first. Well, I call it the fire or heat area because it has Heatman's background. And it has all these fire gimmicks. Oh, and there's the oil slider. And these rooms are made a lot easier if you have access to the ice slasher. After all, if you have access to the oil slider, you can actually access the ice area to the right of here, assuming we can actually reach that fire area that we saw earlier. We saw it with that warp room from the ice side, but we can probably access that warp room on the fire end from the left side now, probably down this ladder. Also, thank you for the checkpoint. It always has a similar structure. We have a 2x4 block over here, with at least 4 large weapon capsules to the left and right of it, well 2 each, and there's a checkpoint right in the middle. I really like the consistent setup. It's effectively like a save point. Now I just need to figure out where the ring boomerang is. Probably at the end of this segment, or at a place where I need to use the oil slider again, which I haven't figured out. After all, I haven't figured out where the Gemini laser block is. It's somewhere, I can assure you of that. That's a really odd color scheme, having a pink block with the oil slider. I wonder if that was an engine glitch there. Oh goody, there's the warp point. So now I have another shortcut to the ice area in case I need it. But what's down here though? Of course, it doesn't allow me to phase through it. That looks suspiciously like a bottomless pit there. Apparently it isn't. I better go down these segments slowly so I don't accidentally kill myself and, You may want to fix the background there, Panda. I can see a blue background right over there. You probably should fill that in. Just saying. So the game is a little bit stuttering once I go down these areas. Good to know. And there's the ring boomerang. I already know of one area where I can use it. The matter is just getting to there. So with that in mind, I'll meet you back at that block which requires the usage of the ring boomerang. Or the Gemini laser once I find it. I'm back at this ring boomerang block, so let's break it open and see what's on the left. First off, another checkpoint. So as usual, reset. At the very least, unlike Mega Man Metroid Long Venture, I'm not wandering around aimlessly. I have a vague idea of at least where everything is. I haven't seen a Gemini laser block yet, I think, but I know there's one out there somewhere. And this is definitely a new area. I don't remember this background and tileset combination. Plus, I need to go back to that one ladder to see what's over there on the other side. I get the feeling it's either another key or a whole stash of E and M tanks, but I need 2 keys, so I'm wondering. There has to be at least 3 keys in this level so you don't get soft locked. Oh goody, we have a bunch of challenge rooms. More challenging than usual, that is, I mean. Let me kill off those fan fiends first before I go down. I really don't want to accidentally get pulled onto the spikes. That would be bad. Okay then, this room looks kind of unique. What's behind this teleporter? Alright. I learned that in the previous part. It actually switches element even though it shows the charge kick symbol there. So that's useful. So we need a bunch of special weapons to access this. We need a Gemini laser here for the first time. And we have a whole bunch of those enemies shooting at me. So instead of dealing with them, I'll just skip past them. And there are the 2 keys I need, I think. So that's at least 3 keys in this level. Of course, the other challenge is getting through here. At least there are some large weapon capsules here in case you get stuck. Though if you're really unlucky, you can end up getting stuck here anyway, and forced to restart the checkpoint. But in order to access this area, you need most of the special weapons unlocked anyway. I guess I have everything I need in order to complete this level. But I want to return to that ladder segment first to see what's behind that door. Alright, we're back over here. Thankfully we have that conveniently placed teleporter. So let's see what's behind that key door. We have 3 E-tanks and an M-tank, and apparently there was a door on the left for whatever reason. Thankfully there was a key over there to replace the one we just utilized. I don't understand why we need to put another key door on the left there. One is only necessary to block all entrance and exits. So we have everything we need. I'll meet you back at the ice segment. We're back at this final corridor. Didn't take that long to get back over here. I would say this map is more easy to go through in comparison to, for example, Joe's level. Or at least it's easier to figure out what everything or how the levels connect with each other. Oh, and this is the warp room. I thought this was gonna happen. So it leads up to those stray warp zones. Though we need all special weapons to get back over here anyway, so... Okay, if you only have 1 key, you can get back to each of those areas and find the other key. That makes sense. Also, as a nice touch, as long as we... Okay, never mind. I was hoping that we could always just switch to the next special weapon we need by pressing the R trigger, or right bumper as I have right now, or next weapon in the list. But sadly we can't. It'd make it a lot more convenient. And for the final thing, an M-tank and the needle cannon. So time for the final segment of the stage. I have everything I need. Unless I missed a key somewhere. That would be bad. After all, this is the point of no return. If I missed a key somewhere, it's just for a secret. And it definitely seems like the final part of the level. It's a lot more dangerous. But to be fair, most of the stage I'd say was easier than Joe's level and Yaha's level. I would say in terms of difficulty this is 4 out of 10. It doesn't require as much Mega Man knowledge for how the special weapons work, like what Joe's level and Yaha's levels do. So time to fight Magnet Man with all these special weapons. His weakness is of course the needle cannon. What else would it be? It's always usually the last special weapon you have. But I did get surprised by Magnet Man magnetizing me on the spikes though. I should have paid more attention there. Oh well, at least there's 7 large weapon capsules here, so even if you run out of special weapon energy, you will be able to easily refill it. So that's another major plus from Panther 35 there. Apparently this base was constructed by Dr. Kozak and Dr. Wily. Good to know. Round 2. Let's hope it goes better this time. And I wished Magnet Man switched to using his other weaponry, instead of pulling me to the left. Oh, okay. I didn't know you could switch it that way. Oh, if you go to the other side of when Magnet Man's trying to magnetize you, he immediately stops. That's good to know. So that's the end of Megatroid Magnet Man. A long Metroidvania level like the previous ones, but this took the shortest amount of time to complete, clocking in at over 60 minutes. Which I actually expected to happen, but honestly, in retrospect, I was expecting to go over 75 minutes. But overall, out of the 3 really long Metroidvania levels I've played, usually referring to Yahav's level as well as Joe's level, this was the easiest to go through, and I got lost the least. I felt the areas were more logically placed with each other, and it definitely wasn't as difficult as Joe's level, which required you to understand how to use the top spin, ice slasher, as well as the charge kick properly in order to get to some of the areas. Here was a lot more on the tame side. So out of the 3 Metroidvania levels, the long ones, I'd say I like this one the most. So great work Panther35 in making a pretty cohesive level. I also liked how each of the areas was distinctive with its tileset foreground background. So it was much more easy to realize where all the large areas were connected to each other. Plus I also liked how we had those shortcuts that we can open up between areas, and we have a warp room at the end in case you only had one key accessible. And I did like how at the end we used several of the special weapons together in order to access new areas. So I'd recommend this level to newbie to intermediate Mega Man players, because it doesn't require that much skill with how the special weapons work in order to succeed. So great work Panda35. I would say this is a decent to an almost good level. At least a 6.5 or 7 out of 10 if I were to give this a score. So in the next part, I'll be covering several more viewer submitted levels. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!